Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking at a pretty wild hypothetical clash.
Oh yeah, what we got?
We're pitting a real-world legend, kickboxing champ Bill Superfoot Wallace, against a fictional MMA icon, Yuri Boyka.
Ah, Wallace and Boyka. Okay, that's an interesting one. Real versus, well, very much not real.
Exactly. We're using some insights from Seeing Shown East, which actually imagines this fight. So our goal really is to figure out how these two fighters, who are just worlds apart in style, might actually fare against each other, depending on the situation.
Yeah, the contrast is immediate. You've got Wallace, right? Undefeated kickboxer, 23-0.
Yeah.
Came up through traditional karate, became this kickboxing phenomenon.
Known for that left leg.
Oh, legendary left leg. Unbelievably fast. Great timing. Footwork, solid defense too. He was a master of the stand-up game, specifically within certain rules.
Right, a specialist honed under specific sport conditions. And then you flip to Boyka, the movie character, the most complete fighter in the world.
Total opposite, designed for versatility. He's supposed to be a master of everything. Boxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, taekwondo, sambo, you name it.
The source highlights his adaptability, how effective he is when there are basically no rules.
Exactly. His whole deal is handling any combat situation. Even if, let's be honest, some of the movie stuff it's movie stuff, not always grounded in reality.
Sure, cinematic flair. So, okay, let's set the scene. First round, pure striking, kickboxing rules, Wallace's home turf. Why does he likely take this?
Well, because that's his world. His entire skill set, the speed, the precision, that tricky footwork, it's all optimized for those rules. He spent years perfecting it in real fights.
So the rules themselves sort of amplify his strengths.
Precisely. His control of distance, his angles. It would be, I think, very difficult for someone like Boyka, who relies on a broader skill set, to really close in and effectively work under those specific limitations. Wallace's specialization is just too deep there.
Okay, that makes total sense. Wallace is the king in that specific castle. But now, let's tear down the walls. No rules, MMA style, anything goes. The kind of fight Boyka is supposedly built for, the source leans the other way here.
Yeah, and this is where it gets really interesting, isn't it? It becomes about specialization versus adaptability.
How so?
Well, in a no-holds-barred fight, the things that made Wallace so good in kickboxing, the focus purely on striking, operating within rules that could actually become liabilities.
Because Boyka brings other tools.
Exactly. Boyka's got grappling, submissions. He's comfortable in the chaos of a fight with fewer boundaries. His versatility means he can change the fight, take it where Wallace is weakest, probably the ground.
The source mentions his brutal efficiency.
Right, he can exploit the lack of rules. That broader MMA toolkit becomes a massive advantage when striking isn't the only path to victory.
And yeah, the text we looked at, it pretty clearly calls it for Boyka in that no-rule scenario. He comes out on top.
It really hammers home how critical the environment, the rule set is. It's not just background noise. It fundamentally changes who has the upper hand.
Wallace is brilliant within his defined space, but take away the lines.
And Boyka's wider range of skills just gives him more ways to win.
So the main takeaway here from the source material seems to be, it all hangs on the rules. Wallace wins a striping contest. Boyka wins an all-out fight.
Absolutely. Wallace's focused mastery versus Boyka's fictional but representative MMA versatility.
It does make you think, though, about specialization versus being a generalist, doesn't it?
For sure. Both have their place, depending entirely on the challenge, the context.
Right. So maybe that's the final thought for everyone listening. Think about how rules and environment don't just influence a fight, but can totally dictate the outcome. What does this Wallace versus Boyka thought experiment suggest about the value of going deep in one skill versus having a broader, more versatile toolkit? Maybe not just infighting, but in anything. Definitely some food for thought there. Thanks for diving into this one with us.